Welcome back, teachers! Here for what I think is going to be my last episode of Back to Canvas Basics. In this one, we are going to be focusing on two things that you may want to add in addition to a regular assignment. That may be quizzes and surveys and discussion boards. Given the fact that you will probably need to assess your students at some point, Canvas quizzes are fabulous. The other thing we're going to talk about, like I said, are going to be discussion boards. And since you guys can't have in-class discussions as you typically would, discussion boards are a great digital replacement for that can go alongside the live sessions we're going to be doing through Zoom. So let's look at quizzes first. If you go over to this side and you click on quizzes, you can start to create new quizzes. Now, I also want to stress that you can do all of this straight through modules. So if you go to modules and you scroll down, you can click the plus button here. And instead of assignment, you can click quiz. Now, if you've already made one, you can add it here. But if you're going to create one from scratch, you just click new quiz and you are going to name it example. You can also decide where you want this to go, classwork, participation project, or in this case, probably best to put it in quiz. Now let's add it. As you guys can see, here it is. A little rocket ship symbol will show up next to it to show that it is a quiz. Even if it's a survey, it's still going to show up with this rocket symbol. You can decide whether you want it to be a survey or you want it to be a graded quiz as you make it. So let's get started. When you click on it, it's going to show this. You're going to click Edit. And you're going to decide all these things that you want about it right here. So if you want to give a brief explanation, this quiz is to assess your understanding of unit or module number 1. I don't know. Then you're going to go down here and decide whether you want it to be graded, or you want it to be practice, or you want it to just be a survey that they get points as long as they complete it, or it could be a survey that's worth no points at all. It's just there to simply gather some data and information for you. Let's go ahead and assume that you want to do a graded quiz. You are going to scroll down. Now this first part right here, it's going to say things like, do you want to give a time limit? You can. If you're like, I only want the students to have 5 or 10 minutes to complete this quiz, you can do that. However, if you do that and a student struggles with the quiz and gets timed out, you're probably going to be dealing with a headache on the back end of trying to go in and allow them to have another attempt at it. So I might suggest against doing time limits, at least at first. Now, this one where it says allow multiple attempts, if you want them to get multiple chances at the quiz, you can do that. I'm going to go ahead and suggest that everybody allow at least 2 attempts. And you can keep the highest score, but I'm going to suggest 2 attempts, and here's why. Let's say Johnny opens the quiz and his internet glitches and the quiz closes, and now he got a 1 out of 10 on the quiz because of that. Well, you're going to have to go back in to this assignment. You're going to have to go through settings. You're going to have to allow them to take a retake. Don't give yourself that headache. Just allow them another attempt automatically if something messes up. Now, will that mean that students who get, a good grade on the first time have a second try? Yeah, but is that really the worst thing that could ever happen? I don't think so. So in my opinion, just allow them 2 attempts. And then that way, whether it's a glitch or they felt they could do better, they get a second try. All right, so I always like to let students see their responses, but only after their last attempt. And I also like to let them see what the correct answers were. But again, I only do that after their last attempt. Otherwise, if you're allowing multiple attempts, they can take the quiz, see all of the answers, and then go back and retake it. And then that's not really serving probably the purpose you want for it. You want to make sure, again, only after their last attempt do they get to see the correct answers. Now, since we're doing digital learning, if you want to avoid the possibility of students cheating off of each other, what you could do is you could make it so that everyone sees the correct answers, but only at a certain date or time. That way you have to make sure everyone is finished taking the quiz before you show them the right answers. I think that that might be a good option. Now, this one is when you're actually creating the quiz and the students are taking it. Do you want them to be able to see all of the different questions all on one page? Or do you want to show one question at a time? I personally think that for student learning, it's better to do one question at a time. And I do not lock questions, because what if they are like, oh wait, I realized that I did that one wrong, I want to go back to it. If you lock it, they can't. So I think it's better to leave it unlocked. If you want, you can require an access code, but I wouldn't with digital learning. I would just let it be. I think it'll make your life more complicated. So now you're going to decide your due date. What day do you want the quiz to be, required by? Obviously not Saturday, but let's say it's this date. Now here in the available from and until, if you're just starting out with this, I kind of recommend you don't worry about that at all, because it can get confusing, especially if a student misses their window to take the quiz. Then you have to go back and unrestrict the access to the quiz. So if you're just getting started with this and learning your comfortability level, I would recommend you stay away from that. However, let's say you want the quiz to only be available from, Friday of one week to Friday of the next week. That's it. That's all you get. You get that much time to take it because I, made it available. Okay, maybe let's say it's due on this Wednesday. You make it available on the 20th. You make it close on that. They get full 7 days access to this quiz. They should be able to do it in that amount of time so that everybody can see their answers. Okay, that makes sense. But again, if something goes wrong and a student is maybe sick for a week and unable to complete the quiz, it will make you go back, and it will be a little bit more complicated to go back and allow them access. So now it's time to actually make the quiz. Click on Questions, and you are going to click New Question. Now, when you make the question, up here at the top, there are multiple options for the type of question. If you want it to be a multiple choice, which of the following is red? You're going to put fire truck, blue sky, ocean, whatever. Okay, and you can add many, many answers. If you want more options than this, you can click Add Another Answer. And then you are going to choose which one is the correct answer by out to the left. You see this little green, you can do that way. If there are multiple correct answers, I know that there's a way to do that. I can't remember right now. Let's see. No, that's not it. This is kind of cool in that, let's say that you want to explain to them why this is the correct answer, like congrats, fire trucks are red because ... And then down here you can click this little red square and say, sorry, blue skies are not red because, or whatever. Make sure you click done so that when students, answer it, this pops up and tells them, hey, you got it right after the quiz is over. It's like, here's why you got it right, here's why you got it wrong. You don't have to do that step. It's just an added nicety if maybe your students are confused. But anyway, you're going to click Update Question when you're done to save the question you've just made. Let's look at another question option. You can do, oh, this is it, multiple answers. If there are multiple correct answers, You can choose multiples as correct, but it works the same way as a multiple choice. Matching is pretty neat because you can put etc. You can do some matching and it will mix it all up for the students when they actually do it. And you would just explain, you know, like match the item to the color, something like that. Now, if you want to do an essay question, an open essay question, then you might want to ask something that's an open-ended, like which character in the novel is the most innocent of wrongdoing? Something like that. Now, here's the thing about the way the Canvas quiz works. When you're done, if you do something that is a multiple choice or a matching or a multiple answers or blah, 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 anything that has distinct answers that are right or wrong that you program in, the quiz grades itself. It's amazing. However, if you choose something that is open-ended, you will have to go in and make sure that afterwards you grade that. Okay, so I'm not going to actually publish it, but just know that this is how the quiz system works. And also you can adjust to the number of points it's worth back in this details section by deciding how many points you want it to be graded for. All right, so let's now go to discussion boards. Anytime you want to make a new discussion, you click plus discussion over here in the discussion board. Now again, same thing can be done through modules. You can go to modules and you can scroll down to your module. You can click plus. You can change it to discussion, new topic, fake example, add item, go on in. And this is so simple. All you're going to do is say like, please respond to the following prompt. Find one item in your room that is blue. Pretend you are that item. Tell the story of your life over the course of a single day or week or year. And you can be more specific. How often are you used? What is your purpose in life? Things like that. But basically, you're just giving them some sort of prompt, and then they are going to just below be responding to that prompt. You can also add a second layer. So this is step 1. Here's step 2. Reply to the responses of at least 3 other classmates. Give them a compliment about their work. Allow threaded replies. Users should post before seeing replies. You can make it graded or not. I always allow liking. Make sure it is classwork or participation. Give it a due date. And save and publish. And by golly, you have a discussion. Hope this helped, guys.